Help Us on the Way for Orchestra is a symphony, and I would love to hear it performed this June 2026. I like to talk about the harmony in Help Us on the Way, and if you are a musician, that should be rather easy to talk about. If you're not a musician, I will try to explain it in a way that it still makes sense to you. We're going to look at the Chariots of Fire, which is from the fourth movement of Help Us on the Way. Okay, so we've had about maybe, let's say, minute and 20 seconds of the same harmony. Okay, dum, bum, bum, bum. We can see it's a B major chord if you're familiar with music. Okay, and then we get the French horns and other instruments that come in. And yes, it is a different chord, but listen again. If you look at the strings, they're still on a B major chord. It's what we call a pedal here. So even though on the surface we hear a change and it provides a nice contrast with the previous stuff, the harmony doesn't change. Let's skip ahead to pick up the 224. I just love it. I just really, really love it. So notice that still we haven't had a change in harmony. Now, those of you who are, more astute, okay, have studied, will say maybe you could say it's a little bit different. There's a different flavoring. We have a D sharp, kind of has a minor feeling. But if you look at the strings, still underneath, we still have that pedal B major harmony. So we're now maybe 3 or 4 minutes into this passage, I don't know, 2 minutes at least, of Chariots on Fire, and there hasn't been a real change of harmony. What that means is when we do finally have a change of harmony, it's going to be really, really powerful. So now I want to show you that powerful moment. Okay, we'll take it from 271 when the oboes arrive. So there, definitively, do you hear that fundamental change? For the first time in 3 minutes, there's like a breath of fresh air, okay? And I think one of the beautiful things about Help Us on the Way is that we create a certain amount of tension by staying so long in one land, and then we suddenly change, and it's like a reminder, like, oh, there's another possibility. Let me just play from the Ritardando a little bit longer. So do you hear how climactic this section is? So it's also the creative aspect, but I think a lot of it has to do with that harmony. We're just delaying it for so long. And I bring this video because I had a few comments here and there by just people on YouTube Shorts or on TikTok, like, oh, when is it going to change harmony? But I think that is one of the beauties of Help Us on the Way. It certainly is part of the language of Help Us on the Way that we have these extended sections on just one harmony, or we make these micro changes, and all of a sudden, what in the music of most composers, classically speaking, like, Mozart, Bach, Beethoven, where the harmony is changing and it's more about the form, in the language of Help Us on the Way, this just changing from a 4 chord to a 5 chord, okay, B major to C sharp major, is immensely powerful and says something Gigantic, I would say. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. You can check out the Chariots on Fire on the YouTube Shorts. Thank you for watching, and let's get this symphony performed.